Hey, what is going down, you awesome camera geeks? I'm traveling light today, and I've decided that I don't want to carry those expensive luxury point and shoots anymore, Contax or Minolta TC1. I want to travel light, and I don't want to have to think about the gear because those cameras, as great as they are kind of fragile. So today I'm traveling light with a camera legend from the past that's gonna do the job just fine. That camera is the Pentax Espio Mini. All right, you awesome camera geeks, let's take a closer look at this little beauty. Quick overview. Watch this. Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. Look at that beautiful lens. This is a 32mm f3.5 Pentax lens. I think this is a very neat looking little camera. Got the flash right here. I'm not going to go over too much of the controls, just simply because honestly I really don't use them. I only use one thing in here, and I'll show you. First of all, it has a panoramic mode, which I never use, which is just a mask pretty much. But most of the modes are really for flash, so you can force the flash here. Alright, so let me quickly show you guys some sample photos from this camera. And this is really a double whammy because first of all, it's a test roll from a camera I resurrected, a camera that actually wasn't working at first. And it's also my first time developing C41 in many years using the CineStill CS41 kit. Some of the images here have been processed and are labeled accordingly. Now I think some people may not realize that you can process your film images the way you do with your digital images. It doesn't automatically come out great just because it's film. That said, most of these images are straight scans unless they are labeled accordingly. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the lens quality here. I think this is a great all-around lens. It's not Contax T2 or T3 grade, but then again, it doesn't cost nearly as much either. Alright, so in my opinion, I think that this is a very good to excellent little lens. It's got very good sharpness. There is some softness at the edges of the images. Alright, so like I said, it's not Contax T3 grade, but overall this is a great optic, especially for everyday use or street photography. I think you'll be fine with this lens. It's probably better than most average point and shoot lenses. Alright, so I want to tell you guys right now why I feel that the Pentax Espio Mini, aka UC1, is actually a good alternative, a great alternative to the Pentax 17. Well, first of all, the Pentax 17's lens is apparently based off the lens in this camera. Now, in all honesty, I actually didn't know that. That's how bad my gear lust for the Pentax 17 is. I didn't even look at the press release to find out about that. I found out from a great Instagrammer who mentioned that to me, and that's why I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the information that you guys give to me, because I'm learning from you guys too. So thank you very much. So apparently the lens on the Pentax 17 is based off the lens here. So right off the bat, these two cameras are in some ways related, in addition to being a Pentax brand. Of course, it's all in the family, right? All right, so now why do I think that this camera is a great alternative to the Pentax 17? Well, let's go over that. Okay, first of all, this camera is, in digital equivalent, it is a 35mm full frame, where the Pentax 17 is a half frame. Now, yes, of course, people are pushing the fact that in the half frame you can get maybe twice the exposures, so saving money on film. But at the same time, what a lot of people are not telling you is that just like in digital photography, you lose a little quality in the half frame. So with the full frame, you're actually using the whole frame of the 35mm film, and you are getting more quality, more detail in the images, and you can blow them up bigger. Another thing why this camera is a great alternative to the Pentax 17 is simply for the fact that you can find them as of today, as of this video, you can find them on the used market for roughly $200 to $250. Sometimes you'll get it for less. Like I said, I got this one for $30 in non-working condition, and I was able to get it working. But on average, you'll probably be getting this camera for half the price of a Pentax 17, which is pretty much brand new and very hard to find. All right, and third reason why I think this camera is better than the Pentax 17 is, especially for street photography, is this autofocus. All right, because the Pentax 17, if you have a lot of time to fiddle, okay, with the zone focus and everything, that could be a lot of fun. But for the most part, the way I do street photography is I am trying to capture that moment as quickly as possible and get out of there. So for me, the autofocus makes a lot more sense. Like I said, if you have a lot of time to fiddle with the zone focus, then the Pentax 17 could be your camera. But for the most part, I believe that this camera would be actually a better street photography tool. And here is another awesome thing about this camera. Look at this camera right here. It's smaller than some digital point and shoots, really. It's almost about the same size as this Ricoh R10. And for that size, you're actually getting a full frame film camera with all the cool factor of film. How much better can you get than that? All right, so about 10 years ago, I had a UC1, and I used this sparingly, but just like a lot of my other cameras, I sort of sold it off a little too quickly, preferring to use my contacts back then. All right, but recently on this trip, I said to myself, you know, my contacts or the Minolta TC1, they're just aging. You know, they really become what I consider fragile. So I got this camera for, actually, you guys won't believe this, but for 30 bucks, it was not working. I figured, why not take a shot? So when I came back home, it definitely was not working. So I cleaned the contacts, which is the first thing I always do, and it still didn't work. So I said, okay, clean the contacts again, The lights started showing up in the back here. See, the lights started showing up here. So I said, oh, okay, that's a glimmer of hope. So, long story short, the lens was not coming out. See this lens right here? The lens was not coming out. So I hate to tell you guys this, but I knocked it pretty hard. Then it started coming out. It started working. So I said, sometimes what you need is tough love. All right, so I would say that the lens on this camera is a great lens, but it's not Contax T2 or T3 grade. So maybe that's why the prices are a little less on the used market, all right? Because it's not exactly a luxury premium point and shoot. It's a great point and shoot that gives great point and shoot vibes But basically I use it as a point and shoot, and for that purpose it does an awesome job. All right, so would I recommend the Pentax Espio Mini? Listen, if you want the Pentax 17 but you don't really know why you want it, then I think this is a great alternative. If you can find it at the prices from $200 to $250, it's got a plastic build, but it's pretty durable. I've been carrying it around for quite a while. All right, and I always put it in my pocket, and I don't have to worry that I'm gonna mess up like a nice expensive jewel. So this would be kind of like a workhorse. All right, so would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend it. Like I said, if you could find it at the prices that I mentioned, you're good to go. This is a great traveling companion, and in its own way, I mean, this is as good of a camera legend as any of the other point and shoots. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time on thecameralegend.com. And oh yes, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Help me beat that YouTube algorithm machine that doesn't like me, but I'm going to keep coming back with the greatest camera legends of all time. So until next time, I'll catch you guys next time on cameralegend.com, and let's take a great Pentax Espio Mini UC1, nice vintage 90s looking point and shoot film image of you guys at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I will catch you guys next time on thecameralegend.com YouTube channel. All right.